And that building looks like a gigantic Lego set.
In 1722, this was established at San Antonio.
And was built in 1968 for the
Very
World
much worth coming
Fair.
back here. This is the most historic area in all
And it
of the
was
city.
the largest hotel in the world at the time.
About to come into the Arneson Theater, built back in 1941. It's an open-air venue that can house up to 800 people. On my right-hand side is its stage, which you might recognize because the stage on my right was in the movie Miss Congeniality. The little Miss Sandra Bullock did her swimsuit competition in the film. Like somebody's putting on a show back here.
Make some noise for Anthony. Hey, you're gonna help me out with my grand finale. My grand finale got me viral. By viral, I mean on my friends in my face in the hit TV show. It's called Cops. Episode 5, season 6. Anthony, what this move is, you're gonna point at somebody in this beautiful crowd. Wait, before you run away with social anxiety, whoever you hit is up there song on my grand finale that got me viral. And will get me all over social media. He's gonna pick somebody right now. All you gotta do is think of a song, whatever song you choose. I'm going to dance to it for my grand finale. Totally improvised, totally fun.
Man, I would have waited there for a second so we could watch a minute of it, but they got both behind me. That guy's really good, actually. I've seen him do some crazy moves when I'm coming through here.
Do me a favor. Don't take your family. That's too easy. Don't pick your nose because we're recording in 4K.
All right. Coming up in front of us, this bridge is very low. That is the lowest bridge on the river. It's one of the many reasons I like to warn everybody about standing up during the tour. Don't worry though, as long as you remain seated, I will not hit your head on this bridge. I learned my lesson yesterday. Kidding, y'all never hit anybody's head on this bridge. I am a professional. Coming up in front of us, a little bit to the right, we're going to see that steel square sculpture. It's called Father Masnet's Table. It was placed here in 1991 by a local artist, Rolando Brasenio, to commemorate the 300th anniversary of the first Catholic Mass that was held down here on the river. It took place back in June 13th of 1691. Also on my right, we're going to see this large cypress tree on the island. Well, this tree actually is the island. The island right here, it's made up of the roots of this tree. We call this Marriage Island. It is naturally in the shape of a heart. Over 300 marriage ceremonies take place here each year. It is said to bring good luck to anyone who gets married here. Trust me, my first 3 marriages were great. Alright folks, this is part of the tour where you can reach up and take home a complimentary handful of souvenir spiders. Yeah, I like to warn people before they touch this bridge. I don't know why spiders love this bridge so much, but they do. There's a lot of them here. We've just come into a section of the river that we call Old Mill Crossing. Back in the 1800s, people would cross from one side of the river to the other, right over here, because this portion is particularly shallow. The river's only about 2 feet deep below us right now. Also, the ground is very hard packed in, so you wouldn't have to worry about your horse and buggy getting caught in the mud while you went from one side of the river to the other. Teddy Roosevelt and his Rough Riders have come through here quite a bit in the late 1890s. And we can start looking up high to my left. We can see this tall building with a beautiful American flag blowing in the breeze. This is the Tower Life building, completed in 1929. Up at the top are some gargoyles. It's hard to tell because they're high up there, but the gargoyles are more than 6 feet long. And then if y'all look over these small trees on my left-hand side, beneath the windows that are just above these trees, you're gonna see some ornate faces in pairs of two. You'll see those ugly little faces right above these trees. Those are called grotesques. The reason why the gargoyles and grotesques are here is because the builders were very superstitious. Basically, they thought if they put a bunch of ugly stuff on the building, it would scare off evil spirits, and that would stop bad business from happening here. But it didn't work. They completed the Tower of Life building in 1929, right before the stock market crashed. They built this for $3 million, and then they had to sell it to the city for $300,000. Yeah, they lost $2.7 million. Those faces did not work hard enough. In today's economy, that'd be like losing right around $49 million. They lost a fortune. So another interesting fact about the Tower Life building we were just looking at, it was designed to look like a ship making passage into our river. If you now look behind me, you'll see that the bottom portion of the building, that's the bow, the front of the ship. The tallest part is the helm, so I'm standing here right now. Some people say that design reminds them of the Titanic, which is definitely not a bad omen for the building. Alright, y'all, this is another one of those stops I was talking about, but at this stop, I have to honk my horn. I'm just warning you so I don't scare you. That's to let traffic know that we're coming through, so no one tries to enter this archway at the same time as us. So this archway that we're coming underneath is called Floodgate 4. Floodgate 4 has a massive metal door that comes from the bottom of the river, and it meets up with this archway to seal it off. If we're ever having a severe storm, we can close this to protect all of the businesses from getting flooded out. Second. Only takes like maybe 5 minutes or so for this to rise up. When we start looking up in front of me, we're going to see that this bridge is covered in locks. We call these the love locks. People come down here, they buy a lock, they write their initials on it, they write their lover's initials on it. They lock it down to this bridge, and then they take their key and they throw it into the river to symbolize their eternal love. Isn't that sweet? Yeah. But if you're feeling unsure about your partner, you could always get a combination lock. So back in 1921, we had a really severe storm in the city. The storm was so bad, it flooded this river 9 feet above street level. Take a look at one of these bridges in front or behind us. That is street level, y'all. Imagine 9 feet of water up on top of the bridges. The river rose more than 20 feet from where it is beneath us right now. Unfortunately, that killed over 50 people. It caused millions of damages. But that's why we had the man Robert Hugman come along, the father of the Riverwalk. So he was the architect down here. He designed everything on the river, including our floodgates. We can now control the water. We will never have another tragedy like that again. Of course, a big thank you to Robert Hugman. Without him, we would not have this beautiful river-centric city as we know it today. The next building is going to be on my left. It's a little bit of a weird angle. So we're going to be looking up the stairs on my left and back in the distance. But you'll need to look towards me whenever the building is visible, because it is back here behind the wall. So back here is San Fernando's Cathedral. They opened up in 1731. This is the oldest continuously operating church in all of Texas, second oldest cathedral in the United States. They've been going strong since 1731. They have the remains of the defenders of the Alamo in there. Tuesday through Sunday, they host a free laser light show on the outside of the building called the Saga. It's going to go from 9 until 9:30 p.m. I highly recommend y'all go check it out. This is one of the only free things to do in the city is go see that laser light show. It's really cool. It's also accompanied by music. It depicts some of the history of San Antonio. And by the time I drop y'all off, you only have to walk like 2 blocks over, and it'll start within a couple minutes. So definitely recommend it. A little bit to the right, we're going to see this massive cypress tree. This is called the Ben Milam tree. It's the oldest on the river. This tree is over 350 years old, and it's over 90 feet tall. We call this the Ben Milam tree because in 1835, during the Battle of Behar, we had a colonel in the army named Ben Milam. He was shot by a Mexican sniper that was up in the top of this tree. So we named it in honor of that colonel who perished, Ben Milam. You can see we're coming by where we started, but we're not done quite yet. We're going to go down another couple blocks, then I'm going to turn around and bring you back. This little portion of the river that we're going down right now, this is not a part of the normal tour, so y'all are actually getting a little bit of a bonus feature right now. There's a lot less back here as far as all the history and everything goes, so at this point I'm just going to share with y'all some general San Antonio history. So a lot of people don't know, but this is a natural river. It's called the San Antonio River. It was actually named well before the city was. So back in 1691, we had some Spaniards coming across Texas, and they found this river. They decided that this is where they were going to stay the night because, you know, having a water source is always good, especially if you have horses with you. So they bedded down, and they decided they were going to hold that Catholic Mass. The date was June 13th, so that is known as the feast day of St. Anthony. So they decided to call this the San Antonio River. It wasn't until 1718, almost 40 years later, that anything started being built down here. So yeah, this river was called the San Antonio River well before there was ever even a thought of San Antonio, the city, existing. You know, we have a bunch of water features out here on the river, like sometimes